Shutouts and blowouts. We had plenty of each on Saturday. MLB Game Night, every game, every night, is now underway.
When that final out is made, you know it's time for Locked On MLB Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. Prepare to experience game day reactions like never before. Only on Locked On MLB Game Night. Your team every day.
He is Lindsay Crosby, host of the Locked On Braves postcast. You can follow Lindsay on the X at Crosby Baseball. I'm Steve Lenox, host of the Locked On Red Sox postcast. You can follow me on X at Lenox on Baseball. We are presented by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Red Sox blank for the first time this season. The Reds blank for the ninth time this year. The Rays hammer the Astros in Houston, and the Brewers take care of business in Philadelphia against the Fightin' Phils. Lindsay, we get to all of those. We're going to start, of course, with the Yankees and Dodgers. Why not? That is one of the blowouts from Saturday. Wow. I wanted a pitcher's duel in one of these games. We're going to have to get it Sunday. I'm not so certain. Dodgers just hand it to the Yankees in game 2 of this series. They've now won the first 2 games of the series. And with that, we're going to start with our Locked On baseball experts. Jeff from Locked On Dodgers gives us an idea from the Dodgers side of this one as they pummel the Yankees to take a 2-0 lead in the series.
The Dodgers pitchers outpitched the Yankees pitchers. The Dodgers hitters outhit the Yankees hitters. Heck, even the Dodgers hitters outpitched the Yankees hitters. What's up? This is Jeff Steiner from Locked On Dodgers. Dodgers beat the Yankees 18-2. Dominant game from the beginning. 4 runs in the first inning, 6 runs in the second inning. Game was over before it started. And Landon Nat got through 6 innings, which the Dodgers definitely needed. 2 games in a row now. The Dodgers starters have gotten through 6 innings. Chris Stratton finally got to pitch for the Dodgers. They finally had a big enough lead. They trusted him. He gave up a home run to Aaron Judge, first batter he faced. But other than that, he got 3 outs. Kike Hernandez pitched again. Just Max Muncy, 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. Dalton Rushing, first career home run. Andy Pages hit a home run. Hae-Sung Kim hit his second home run, had 3 hits. Tommy Edman had 4 hits, I think. Dodgers just destroyed the Yankees in this game. No 2 ways about it. It's going to be a lot of fun to talk about Sunday night on Locked On Dodgers. Check it out either live on YouTube or first thing Monday morning, wherever you get podcasts.
Everything going right, Lindsay, over the first 2 games of this series for the Dodgers. They have the series opportunity for a series sweep on Sunday.
They're doing all of this without Mookie Betts, too, who they lost to that toe issue. It feels like everybody is starting to get hot at the right time. Max Muncy struggled this year ever since he started wearing the rec specs. It's just he's doing much better. I think he had a 3-run home run, or 2 of them. He had an RBI single in this one. Edman and Kim had 4 hits each combined for 4 RBI and like 5 runs. This team is more than just Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman, right? Like they like Jeff said, they beat them in every possible respect. That was a ton of fun. I'm excited to see Kim play every day, second base, center field, wherever else they might use him.
First 2 games of this series, perhaps showing the Yankees that they've got some things to do here before the trade deadline if they want to go up against the Dodgers for a second straight year in the Fall Classic and the World Series. And that's Brian from Locked On Yankees theme. The Yankees got to think about what they're going to add before the trade deadline because, like a lot of teams, they've got a long way to go to be right there looking eye to eye with the Dodgers.
Bad night for New York sports, and the Yankees had no problem adding on to the party. I'm Brian McKeon from Locked On Yankees, an 18-2 loss in Los Angeles. A terrible start for Will Warren. Unreasonable use of the bullpen using Luke Weaver and Devin Williams that apparently needed work for some reason. All things that need to be answered. The only guy that shut up was Aaron Judge with his 2 home runs in the game. But the Yankees got thoroughly embarrassed, and if there's a positive note to come out of this game, maybe the Yankees were shown that they were outclassed and not in the same competition as the Los Angeles Dodgers, who clearly showed up for this game. Maybe it incites the team to go make some aggressive trade at deadline moves. Maybe it makes the team go out and trade some prospects for the first time in years and make some big moves that are clearly needed at the deadline. We'll discuss that and much more all week on Locked On Yankees, wherever you get your podcasts.
Lindsay, it's been known for years the Yankees can overhype their prospects better than any team in baseball. With that, it'll be interesting to see. Brian Cashman's going to be aggressive. He's not going to allow a single stone unturned. And if he can improve the team before the trade deadline, he's going to do that. But, again, Will Warren takes one on the chin. Max Fried takes a loss in the opener. The Dodgers right now are just in that lineup. You're in the lineup. You're expected to produce, and they're producing.
I mean, they're a juggernaut right now. And it doesn't help that the Yankees are dealing with a little bit of injury, but the big injury they're dealing with is Garrett Cole. He's gone. He's not walking through that door. They're going to have to get reinforcements. They're still having issues in the infield. Jazz Chisholm's going to move back to third. They can try to figure out second base. It's really an odd place for the New York Yankees to be with this many openings at this point in the season, or even coming out of spring. They have this many questions. I hope Ryan Yarbrough can get it done, but he's got to face Yoshinobu Yamamoto tomorrow, so good luck with that.
And Saturday, Dodgers giving a gift to their manager, Dave Roberts, celebrating a birthday, his 53rd, and they've scored 26 runs over the first two games of this series. So we start with Yankees-Dodgers and a blowout win at Dodger Stadium. Now let's go to one of what was a handful of shutouts around baseball on Saturday, Lindsay. The Cubs with the victory, blanking the Reds 2-0. Sixth shutout win of the season for the Cubs pitching staff. And with that, we welcome in Sam Olber. He's got the Cubs perspective on this victory against Cincinnati.
I feel like I have done the same post game after a win on all four wins on this homestand, but we'll take it. Cubs beat the Reds 2-0 at Wrigley Field on Saturday. The game came down to, on a very cold, windy, wind-blowing in day, no offense. The game came down to who was going to make the big mistake, and the Reds made two of them in the eighth inning, allowing the Cubs to score 2 runs, a ball that should have been caught in right field, play that should have been made it short. But the story of this game was Ben Brown. We always talk about ceilings and floors, and nobody has a higher ceiling than Ben Brown, and Ben Brown also has a low floor that we've seen this year, and he flashed all his abilities on Saturday. He was outstanding, 6 innings, 9 strikeouts. The opener worked out really well for him. I would expect the Cubs to use that again the next time he pitches in Detroit. Would just like to see the Cubs offense get going a little bit. It's just not the same at Wrigley Field. The conditions play a part, but they definitely pressed a little bit on Saturday, and I would like to see them score 4 or 5 plus runs on Sunday to feel good heading into D.C. But a win's a win. Take it. 4-1 on the homestand. Cubbies keep rolling.
Sam Olber, Locked On Cubs. The Reds, as we've talked about, what are the, box of chocolates with that offense. 1 hit, 1 walk on the day. TJ Friedl, a single in the 6th inning, their only hit against Pomeranz, Brown, and the rest of the bullpen on Saturday.
I mean, he tried to single-handedly extend his streak, 7 straight multi-hit games, did not get to 8. But, I mean, the Reds are the most confusing team in baseball because they have Ellie De La Cruz. They have all of these fantastic players, and from time to time, they just put up a complete goose egg like this. I mean, this is the 9th time this season they've been shut out. They're back below 500. If they want to make a move, they've got to start hitting more reliably. And that's just, I wonder what it's going to take for that to happen.
Brewers, 17 runs, 23 hits. The Phillies got 5 runs in the bottom half of the 9th inning against the Milwaukee bullpen. But right now, as Connor Thomas can attest to, the Phillies just simply have to turn the page right now on the first 2 games of this series at home against the suddenly hot Brewers. And I accidentally removed Connor right there. I apologize. We don't hear from Connor, so we'll talk about this game from the Brewers' perspective. 17 runs, 23 hits, 17-7 the final. Brewers have won 6 in a row, 10-3. And I think they can thank the Red Sox a little bit. Now, they've gone well for the last couple of weeks, but they completed the series sweep earlier this week at home against the Red Sox. With that series sweep, they walked off twice in extra innings.
I mean, the Phillies I don't understand the Phillies. This is something the Brewers had the momentum you talked about. The Phillies, Jesus Luzardo, he's been so good this year. 12 earned runs in 3 1/3 innings. It's a very small list of guys who have stayed in a game long enough to give up 12 earned runs. You have somebody on your roster who's actually in that list, isn't he?
Tanner Houck, who's done it twice this year.
Twice this year.
Not once, but twice.
Like I pulled it up. It's like Ben Lively. It's a surprising list. Ben Lively, Jason Marquis did it twice. Jose Lima did it back in 2000. Jordan Yamamoto, and then to your point, Tanner Houck did it twice this year. Rob Thompson got ejected. Do you think that was on purpose to not have to watch the rest of this game? Like,
sometimes
he just like,
do that.
I'm just gonna go in the clubhouse, grab a cup of coffee. I'll see you guys when it's over.
Some managers will tell the clubby, "Hey, 7th inning, have my coffee or have my drink on the rocks ready to go."
I'm curious what the finale is going to have. This has been a weird series. Walk-off grand slam. Yelich took that, had the momentum into the opener. They won at 6-2. You had this. What's going to happen on Sunday? Jose Quintana, Ranger Suarez. Neither one of those guys is bad, but at this rate, somebody's going to get lit up for 10.
Yeah, and Rhys Hoskins is going to get booed again because he had 2 3-run home runs, both off Luzardo and both off his former club
Revenge
on
game.
Saturday. Jackson Chourio, Christian Yelich, each with 4-hit games. The Phillies have lost 3 in a row, and as Lindsay mentioned, Rob Thompson ejected from the game that early on in the 4th inning. 6 straight wins for the Brewers, and they're going to look for the series sweep on Sunday. Back to the low-scoring games. 1-0. Tarik Skubal, Michael Wacha, neither involved in the decision, both outstanding. Royals even up the series with a 1-0 victory at home against the Tigers on Saturday. And with that, let's not erase this one, but let's welcome in Jack Johnson as Wacha gets the best of Skubal and the Tigers.
And a great showing from Michael Wacha. The Royals shut out the Tigers in Game 2 and even up the series at 1 apiece. I'm the host of Locked On Royals, Jack Johnson, giving you a few takeaways from this afternoon's game, beginning with how impressive Michael Wacha was in front of a packed crowd at Kauffman Stadium, which they were also there for Mike Moustakas' retirement ceremony, but also for great weather and such a fun series that they have with the first-place Tigers in town. But Wacha, an experienced veteran, took that and ran with it. He pretty much had to be perfect today with Tarik Skubal on the opposite side. And he lost a no-hitter in the 7th inning, so he was damn near perfect for the entirety of his outing. Bullpen did their job. John Schreiber was great, and Carlos Estevez once again slammed the door. And as for the offense, I could sit here and nitpick certain at-bats and really come down hard on him, but that's the best pitcher in baseball that you're facing today. I can't ask for much more than what they did today, which was just 1 run. I tip my cap to Nick Lofton, a multi-hit game, got the rally going in the 8th, and I tip my cap to Vinny Pasquantino driving him in. I also tip my cap to Vance Wilson with the guts he said. Now it sets up Chris Bubich to go and win a series tomorrow with a first pitch at 1:10.
Neither starting pitcher allowed a base runner to reach second. That's impressive.
But listen, Michael Wacha did what he had to do to keep you in the game against all odds, right? You had Skubal. We saw how dominant he was last time out. We talked about that on the show. And honestly, like, the big deal here is the Royals win a Skubal start. Like they overcome the odds to do that. You love how that puts you. Obviously, this is now a tied series. We'll see what happens on Sunday. I feel like they have the pitching advantage too with Bubik over Keider Montero. We'll see what happens.
All right, last game that we're going to cover here in segment number 1, MLB Game Night, every game, every night. Spencer Schwellenbach, can't help but be impressed by him. 6 1/3 scoreless, 5-0 victory for Atlanta over the Red Sox in Atlanta, and the Braves with a win on Saturday, even up the series at a game apiece. Schwellenbach, 2 victories now this season against the Red Sox. Again, he was outstanding. Bullpen got the job done. Red Sox shutout for the first time this season.
Yeah, this was on his 25th birthday. Second straight start with no walks and 11 strikeouts. He is the 16th pitcher in baseball history to do that. Last time it was done was Zach Gallen in 2023. The only players who have done it in 3 consecutive starts, Clayton Kershaw, Chris Archer, both in 2015. We'll see if Schwellenbach can do that next week.
Garrett Crochet, Bryce Elder on Sunday in the series finale. And what's the rubber game of the 3-game series between the Red Sox and the Braves? Crochet is going to make a start for the 9th time this season. When the Red Sox lost the previous game, they did it on Saturday. He goes in the finale. And the Braves in this series just 3 for 20 with runners in scoring position. Austin Riley Ronald Acuna Jr. both homering against Walker Buehler on Saturdays. Buehler took the loss. Coming up, Nationals a 10-run first inning in the desert, held on against the Diamondbacks, and the Mariners again for a third straight game going extra innings, and this time they pulled out a victory. It's MLB Game Night.
The MLB season's in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning hit or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action than now, because FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game, both before first pitch and live. They have player props, performance trends, same-game parlays. You have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. And it's not just who's going to win this game or the parlay or a player's individual performance in a game. They have all kind of unique bets. There's a couple Aaron Judge specific options out here. You can choose whether or not you think he'll have a 400 or better batting average at the All-Star break as of July 14th, plus 1,100, or Aaron Judge to have a 400 or better batting average in the regular season, plus 6,000. You can also place a bet specifically on whether or not he will win the Triple Crown in the American League. If you're curious, yes is plus 210, no is minus 270. So they think somebody else will win the American League Triple Crown. If you're new to FanDuel, it is the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel.
Back at it, MLB Game Night, every game, every night, recapping Friday's action from around, or Saturday's action rather, from around Major League Baseball. As we are deep into the weekend here. Let's start segment number 2. Mariners finally, third straight extra inning game, and they walk off in the bottom half of the 11th inning, beat the Twins 5-4. That series now even at a game apiece. Cole Young just up from the minors. Mariners' number 3 prospect had his first big league hit earlier in the season, ends the game, fielder's choice, reaches first base, picks up the game-winning RBI. And the Mariners, I'm not going to say much needed victory, but a nice win for Seattle as both Houston and Texas lose in the AL West.
The big thing for me in this one is the Mariners have had a couple times now, we've talked about them on the show, where they get to extras and they've given up a ton of runs. And being able to get through, I remember watching this game in the 11th inning, to be able to get through the top half of the inning, no runs allowed, give themselves a chance to win, I think is a big boost for that bullpen. Colin Snyder, 2 scoreless innings of relief. They really needed that reassurance that they could hold or keep a team off the board in extras.
And he's the guy, former Shelter Island Buck, by the way. I'll tell you about that team another time. Okay. But Snyder was the guy who gave it up a couple of nights ago against the Nationals in extra innings. So nice to see him rebound. You're the visiting team. You start the top of the extra inning. You start the 10th. You start the 11th inning off. Twins had their opportunities all night long. Don't score in the 10th. Don't score in the 11th inning. Shame on them. 4 for 19 with runners in scoring position, 13 left on base.
Ooh, and just like it was something, I think runners in scoring position, 2 outs. I was checking this. 6 different players had an opportunity to drive those guys in and left them in scoring position. And it's all guys that have got to do this. Byron Buxton, Matt Wallner, Trevor Larnach, all guys who need to come through in the clutch, and none of them did. It's at a certain point in time, you had the chance to win it. You just didn't do it.
Giants Marlins continuing their series in Miami on Saturday. Giants 2-0 victory on Friday in the series opener. Marlins return the favor. Just 1 run needed in a victory for the Marlins on Saturday at home. With that, we hear from Jeremiah Geiger, Locked on Marlins.
Edward Cabrera and the Marlins shut out the San Francisco Giants 1-0. It's Jeremiah Geiger from the Locked on Marlins podcast. Yeah, anytime you win a game 1-0, the pitching did their job, and credit to Edward Cabrera. He caps off an awesome month. The entire month of May, 2.0 ERA, right on the dot. 28 strikeouts in 27 innings. He was great in this one. 5 2/3, didn't allow a run. Back-to-back scoreless outings now for Edward Cabrera. The bullpen was great. Ronnie Enriquez, his stuff is incredible. And the Marlins did their job. They win the game even though they only had 3 hits in this one. You got shut out yesterday, only 3 hits today. You don't like to see that, but hey, you pulled out the W, and that's all that matters at the end of the day, getting those wins. Marlins will go for a series win against a very good opponent. The Giants are no slouch. They're playoff contenders, and they can win the series against these guys coming up tomorrow.
And it will be Hayden Birdsong against Ryan Weathers in the series finale in Miami, Giants and Marlins on Sunday. We thank Jeremiah for that. Let's move on. You mentioned the Reds earlier. How about the Rays? I mean, they're not going to score 10 or more runs every game, but they absolutely hammered the Astros on Saturday. 18 hits, 5 home runs, 16-3 the final. They've won 2 of the first 3 games of that series, an opportunity to win the series on Sunday.
I don't know what's more impressive. Zach Littell throwing a complete game, 10 hits, 3 runs, 117 pitches, or Junior Caminero having 4 hits, including 2 homers, driving in 5, and scoring 4 runs. I think both of those, they got just every single performance they could have possibly needed. They have 29 runs in their 2 wins in this series. I wonder if they can keep that up, though, because Hunter Brown is on the other side on Sunday. He's been one of the best pitchers in baseball this year. He's had a little stumble here and there, but for the most part, he has been a very tough opponent. We'll see what he can do tomorrow.
All right, I did skip over. Thank you, Lindsay. I did skip over our first game of the second segment that I had lined up. Nationals, 10 runs in the first inning. You can say they held on because they won 11-7. 10 in the first, 1 in the second, 11-7 the final against the Diamondbacks. The Road Warriors, the Nationals, right now 4-1 on this trip. They've got 1 more to go on Sunday.
16 hitters came to the plate in the first inning. 9 hits, 5 doubles. CJ Abrams got hit by a pitch twice in the same inning. Ended up with 3 hit by pitches in this game. Brandon Pfaadt did not record an out.
Yikes.
It's 2 hit by pitches. He threw 31 pitches. That is, if I have my math right, an infinite ERA. I don't really know what it's going to calculate to or what it does to his season numbers, but that was absolutely rough. Not a great night for Arizona, but they didn't roll over. To your point, they came back. They put up 7 runs of their own and they made it close, but just at some point it's kind of too little too late.
Yeah. That was a near comeback and it didn't happen. And I'm happy for the Nationals as they are creeping towards 500 on the season. You mentioned CJ Abrams hit not once, not twice, but 3 times. I don't know that he got frustrated by that against Arizona pitching, but we'll see if there's any carryover with that on Sunday. Angels Guardians in Cleveland, game 2 of that 3-game series. On Saturday, Guardians able to come back, win it 7-5. Angels 8-game road winning streak coming to an end. All good things come to an end. Moncada, Ward, Adele all homering against Guardian starter Slade Ciccone. Mike Trout, 3-hit game. RBI double in the 5th inning. That put the Angels up 5-2. But Cleveland's bullpen has been solid, if not terrific. 5 relievers combining for 4 2/3 innings. Cade Smith has been outstanding in front of Emmanuel Clase. Worked a 1-2-3 8th inning, and then Clase finished it off with a perfect 9th for the save, his 12th on the year. Smith now, Lindsay, 23 scoreless appearances and 28 on the season. That's why I like the Guardians. That backside of the bullpen, and Terry Francona can work a bullpen with the best of them. That is a great thing for the Guardians if they can all stay healthy and remain competitive in that division.
Counterpoint here. They used their bullpen so much last year that when they got to the postseason, these guys were exhausted. Cade Smith had a 7.36 ERA in the postseason. Emmanuel Clase gave up more runs in the postseason than in the entire regular season. I love that they're so good, but they need more depth out of their starters so they don't run these relievers into the ground. Because I think they learned a lesson last year. I hope they learned a lesson last year, but it doesn't feel like they did.
So, the Mets simply taking care of business, doing what they're supposed to do at home against the Rockies. They've won the first 2 games of the series. June 1 is on Sunday. The Rockies have now not just 9 wins on the season. That was all over social media on Saturday. With that, Mets doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing, and Chris Schubert likes what he saw from the Mets on Saturday as they're getting production from different guys in the lineup. That has been consistent here as they're continuing to wait on Juan Soto, who did homer on Saturday, to really take off and do what Juan Soto is capable of doing.
is much more like it for the New York Mets, who had a big day offensively, their second straight game with 3 home runs. They tallied up 8 runs in total, and it was a nice, easy day at the ballpark for the series victory. Over the last 2 games, the Mets have had 5 different players hit home runs. This isn't just one guy going off for a weekend. This is team contributions. Lindor and Marte last night. Today, it was Brandon Nimmo. Yes, it was Juan Soto. Jeff McNeil got involved in the party as well. This is what you're supposed to do against teams like the Colorado Rockies. You use them as a launching point. Good thing for the New York Mets. They are doing exactly that. They have put themselves in a tie for first place in the NL East.
There you go. Thank the Brewers for that, as they've taken the first 2 in Philadelphia, as we touched on earlier. Soto, first home run since May 9th. Kodai Senga, 6-3 with the win. ERA now at 1.60. I had to double check on that. But he's the guy who's, he's not going to go 8, but he's going to give you 6, got an out in the 7th inning before he was removed.
And you're going to be in a position to win the game. And that's really all of these Mets pitchers. They've been fantastic this year. The Mets pitching factory has built guys. Tomorrow, we get Clay Holmes. He's a dude that was a reliever, wasn't the best, had, I think, one season he had the most blown saves in all of baseball. And they've turned him into a fantastic starter, because the Mets seem to have learned this from the Brewers when they took David Stearns.
Antonio Senzatella, remember the name, now 1-10 on the season for the Rockies, 7 earned runs over 4 innings of work. We're going to continue talking about shutouts and the Pirates with a shutout at Petco against the Padres. Details next. Third and final segment, Lindsay, as I touched on right there, the tease, and right back at it. Andrew Heaney will go in the finale for the Pirates on Sunday. That'll be the rubber game of the 3-game series. But the Pirates, 5-0 victory at Petco on Saturday. Padres, 3 hits and a win on Friday, managing just 2 hits on Saturday. Where are the bats? What are the bats doing for the San Diego Padres right now?
I mean, I don't look at David Bednar in the 9th. Who'd he face? Tatis, Arise, Machado. 1-2-3 inning, strikes out Machado. Like, if those guys aren't going to do it, nobody's going to do it. And San Diego, 33-24, they're right in the thick of the wild card, but they continue to have little stretches like this where they look completely inept at the plate. And I don't understand why they're so streaky with all these talented players.
Let's hear from Gary, Locked On Pirates, as the Pirates are able to even up the series with a shutout.
The Pirates blank the San Diego Padres in San Diego for the first time in 24 years. Wow. And Bailey Falter has one of the best pitching performances of any Pittsburgh Pirate in a singular month in the history of the team. Hi, I'm Gary from Locked On Pirates. Exciting stuff tonight. Andrew McCutchen had a big homer to the second deck. Puts him 1 behind Andrew McCutchen. Bailey Falter, 6 1/3 scoreless innings in this shutout. It caps off a month of May that was just epic. A .76 ERA. Opponents hit 144 against Bailey Falter in the month of May. There's only been 2 Pirates pitchers in the live ball era to have months even comparable. 2 better. One, Zane Smith, and 1, Paul Skeens, in September of last year. That's how crazy it was. A lot of good hitting stats in this one. Brian Reynolds has been hitting 400 since the middle of May. Things have really turned around for him. Great stuff. More on this Monday on Locked On Pirates. Hope you're there with me.
Talking about these stats. 6 starts, he only allowed runs in 2 of them. Bailey Falter, I apologize. I was not familiar with your game. That is 0.76 ERA, 3-0 in 6 starts, an 0.84 whip. That's nuts.
The win did snap a 10-game losing streak for the Pirates against the Padres. Again, the rubber game of the 3-game set, and they'll look for the series win on Sunday. Baltimore Orioles all of a sudden winning more than they're losing over the last, week to 10, week to 4, maybe the last 2 weeks. 4-2 victory against the White Sox on Saturday at Camden Yards against the White Sox. Todd Welter Locked On White Sox, as this one got a little heated during the course of the game as well.
I can live with the White Sox losing 2 straight to the Baltimore Orioles. It's fine. It helps them in the MLB draft lottery for next year. What I don't like is the White Sox only scoring 3 runs against one of the worst pitching staffs in all of baseball, and Luis Robert Jr. officially having a bad season. Hello, I'm Todd Welter, host of Locked On White Sox, and the White Sox lose to the Baltimore Orioles 4-2. And what's frustrating in this is that the White Sox, you wanted to see some signs of progress this season because, again, losing to the Orioles, hey, it helps them in the tankathon standings, and you want to have the best draft pick possible in the 2026 draft, which is loaded with a bunch of stud players. But, again, you just still want to see, that this team will be moving forward, and they had a chance to at least maybe somewhat climb out of being the worst team in the American League. But what's really hard to see is Luis Robert Jr. I mean, he's completely lost. He went 0 for 5 with three strikeouts. And a guy that you were hoping would have a monster season so that they could trade for a couple impact prospects. Now you're hoping that maybe you could just get a reliever profile type prospect. I mean, he is that bad, and he just seems lost. And I'll have more on Monday's episode of Locked On White Sox.
Lindsay, right there. Todd mentions the 2026 draft. We're looking that far ahead. For the Orioles, Jackson Holliday led off the home first inning with a home run. Did it with his dad, former big leaguer Matt Holliday, in the stands, along with his younger brother Ethan, who is expected to go number 1 overall in the July 2025 draft. And the Nationals have that top pick. Both of them, Matt and brother Ethan, were in attendance at Camden Yards, and they've been there throughout the weekend.
It's going to be absolutely wild to have one Holiday in Baltimore, one Holiday in Washington. Like the Beltway series is not enough animosity in there. Let's add a sibling rivalry to the whole thing.
All right, Cardinals, Rangers, and this is baseball. The Rangers take care of business and put up 11 runs on Friday. So wouldn't you know it, the Cardinals come back with a shutout win and win 2-0 on Saturday. Cardinals went 19-8 during the month of May. Sonny Gray, Phil Maton, Ryan Helsley combining on the 7th shutout win of the season for the Cardinals. Gray, 7 innings, struck out 10, walked just 1, 19 swings and misses, reaching 1,800 career strikeouts at the big league level. Helsley, 1-2-3 ninth inning with a couple of strikeouts. He picks up to save his 13th on the year. The Cardinals now 8 games over 500, rubber game in that 3-game set coming on Sunday. A's, Blue Jays. Lindsay, you wrap it up.
Yeah, this is something 8-7 win for the Blue Jays. They've taken the first 3 in the series versus the A's. They're going for a 5th straight win and the series sweep on Sunday. JP Sears versus Kevin Gausman. But in this one, it was Addison Barger, 2-run home run, 2nd homer in the series. Bo Bichette, home run in the 3rd. George Springer, home run in the 4th. He's continuing the resurgent year that he's had. On the other side, Tower Soderstrom, 3-run homer in the 1st. Brent Rooker has a 3-hit game, including 2 runs in the 9th. When you said held on, you were serious, held on. But A's have lost 16-17. Vlad has reached in 31 straight games, had a single in the 1st inning. And that's a really cool streak. 31 games. Hey, there you go.
Tough one to see. Dalton Varsho injured a hamstring running 2nd to 3rd during the game, and he's likely going to – he's going to be out for an extended period of time for the Blue Jays. That is going to be all for us as we wrap up MLB Game Night, and we encourage you, as always, to join us each and every night throughout the Major League Baseball season as we recap the action around the big league ballparks. I'll be on with John Frisch on Sunday, wrapping up Sunday's action around the big leagues, and Lindsay's going to see if the Auburn Tigers can win the regional as they host, and they'll have an opportunity. They're in the regional final. They'll try to wrap it up with Game 6. Enjoy that one on Sunday.
Very excited. College baseball is just a different experience. I love MLB, but I love baseball in general. College is tons of fun. I'm excited to be here tomorrow.
MLB Game Night, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, available wherever you get your podcasts. MLB Game Night, every game, every night.